despite there are some students who repetitively give the interviews, and somehow they face a lot of rejection, wherein these students, instead of taking accountability on themselves, they start blaming other people. So how do you address this situation?
These students had that goal. Having that goal was fair enough. You should always have that goal, but you should not always keep your eye on that goal only. So what these students usually do is they just keep their eye on that goal only, and they are not able to focus on what is being taught to them. They are not here in the certifications, they are not here when we have boot camps, they are not here when we have workshops for them. So when they'll not attend the personality development sessions, I'm sorry, they'll not be able to speak in front of the recruiter. See, a resume can get you shortlisted, but your skills would get you selected. So that is what the students should actually focus on. They should be focusing on skills.
Hi everyone, my name is Monalisa Khatwa and I take care of learning and development at Business Institute. And today we are again here with another episode of bringing you perspectives from academic leaders, various corporate leaders, visionaries, and everything that you require before you join or you consider before you taking admission into a B school, I would say. And today we are very fortunate to have with us Director of Admissions, iBusiness Institute, Ms. Prachi Milan, ma'am.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
So we'll just have a quick chat on all the questions that a student could possibly have before taking admission into a B school, ma'am.
Sure.
So I'll begin with my first question. Ma'am, can you tell us the demographic, varieties of students that we have at iBusiness Institute?
Sure. So Mona, when we talk about our cohort, our cohorts are usually, spread across the country. We get students from all across the country with the, different states and cultural backgrounds. And at the same time, we try that we could maintain a strong gender ratio, because that is one thing that I feel is really important in today's corporate world and global workplaces. So that is one thing. Apart from this, our classrooms have graduates from engineering, commerce, management, science, and all such backgrounds. So that they all come from a different perspective. They collaborate, they obviously collide also, but then that is what we feel that actually makes a classroom brainstorm a lot. And this is something that has been really helpful for us in building professionals. So that is something that I would like to highlight here.
Ma'am, since you mentioned that, you have students from various domains, you have students from B.Tech also,
Definitely.
from BBA and various streams of education, basically graduation. So, when we talk about PGDM course as a subject or as a body, what do you think, these students coming from various backgrounds, what are the challenging factors that you, encounter while you consider admissions?
See, Mona, as I said, the cohort is built of different kind of students, of course, different backgrounds. So challenges also are multiple. So you cannot expect every student to be facing a single challenge, because they are all come from different backgrounds. I would say, students from B.Tech or engineering background usually face problems with some particular subjects. Then when students from arts or humanities background come here, they are not much exposed to the corporate world. They haven't done any internships as such. They are not exposed to such subjects. So they are different challenges. And for this, as an institute, what we have come up with is a 50 days unique orientation program. And how this is planned is like, when these students come to the campus, we started with a 50 days unique orientation program. Now in this orientation, we have a lot of ice-breaking activities. We have a lot of team building activities, management games, so that all of them are at a common platform before we begin the course formally. Apart from this, in these 50 days, we get a lot of corporate speakers to the campus. Now, what these corporate speakers do in these 50 days, because obviously at this point in time, these students are just freshers. They don't even know what management is. So these corporate speakers, they actually set the expectations. So they tell these freshers that, when you come to the corporate after, let's say, 1.5 years or 2 years, what are we expecting you as a, management graduate? So that is second. Apart from this, we have these foundation classes. So the foundation classes are usually for the subjects which are basics into management. So basics of subjects like accounts, economics, everything would be covered in the 50 days unique orientation program. Apart from this, I would also like to highlight one important thing, like as and when the student gets enrolled to the campus, because we commence the admission process as and when the CAT results are out. So and the batch commences in the month of June or July maybe. So we assign a faculty mentor to each and every enrolled student. Now because they all come from different backgrounds, these faculty mentors, what they do is they handhold the student till the commencement of the batch. So they'll start working on their weaknesses, they'll actually enhance their strength. So all of that would be happening as an exercise, so that when they come to the campus, they're more prepared. So that's how we embrace the differences of each and every student.
I think this is something which iBusiness Institute is known for, the 50 days unique orientation program.
And it certainly is unique, and you know, I feel that any program or anything that we are trying to build should have a strong foundation.
Correct.
And this orientation program actually lays a strong foundation for it.
Actually, it's a very good idea to bring everybody onto the same page, ma'am.
Very
I
right.
think kudos to you for coming up with such an idea.
Yes, of course. It is a, like what I feel, the institution is actually made of the people. So it is not the infrastructure, it is not the building, it is about the people who are actually, adding value to the system, and we all believe in that.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, since you mentioned that, you start the admission process as soon as the CAT results are out. I'm sure apart from CAT, we also, consider various other examinations also, like MAT, ZAT, CMAT, and various other examinations, as well as IBI has its own examination and evaluation process also. What is that basic percentile that you consider while taking admissions?
Definitely. So as you said that apart from CAT, we do consider ZAT, CMAT and MAT as, the entrance. But again, Mona, that is not the only qualifying criteria to get into IBI. We don't have our own entrance exam, but we definitely have an evaluation process. It is a very comprehensive process. Of course, when I talk about the CAT scores, students have scored as high as 98 percentile in CAT, 100 percentile in MAT. We have students with 99 percentile in CMAT, 98 percentile in ZAT. All such high scorers, high flyers are there with us. But then what I feel what we have learned from the corporate is that you should not be, evaluating a student or a candidate basis one particular exam or a score.
Right.
Because the corporates these days are not doing that. They are not hiring students for their resumes, they are hiring for the skills, and that's what we also as an institute believe in. So we have this comprehensive evaluation process, the admission process, wherein we have 3 rounds of interview, in which the students are evaluated based on their academic subjects, based on their learning agility, based on their attitude, based on how good they are in their research thing, what is their business acumen, what are their leadership skills, how good is the student in taking the initiative. So all of that is evaluated, and that is how the admission process helps us to select the best of candidates from such a big pool of applicants.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, when we begin the admission journey as a whole, you see, we have students again from various, domains and specialization.
Correct.
When we talk about PGDM course as a whole, we see that, we have live projects also, we have internships also, we have, various conferences, we have guest lectures. So, what are your thoughts on all these things? Because a PGDM course is not just, reading from book, it's not just a theoretical subject, but it also, focuses on practical knowledge, employability skills. So what are your thoughts on this?
See, Bona, these days we are actually having a lot of new gen business schools that are coming up, and they are, again, I feel they're bent towards a particular side. Like when I talk about the new gen based schools that are coming with, almost giving degrees which are not approved, or they are just running their own campuses and giving their own degrees or diplomas or whatever. So they are bent towards only the industry exposure. They are doing their live projects well. They are giving internships. They are giving corporate exposure and everything. And of course, we as an institute are emphasizing on that. But what I believe is that as an academic institution, we should focus on both the things. So a student should definitely have that academic depth. So that is the most important thing. Even if you are very presentable, if you have got good communication skills, but if you don't have that depth, you'll not be able to speak, right?
Correct.
Because you don't have that content that ways. So we believe in both the things. As I'm not too sure you're aware of it or not, but then our students have presented the research papers. The first year students have presented the research papers in almost 10 IIMs of the country now. They have been there, they have experienced that campus life. And being a management aspirant, I believe each and every student aspires to get into one of the IIMs.
Right.
So for some of them, it was a dream. So I think we try to balance both the things, that we built academic depth, we encourage them to do research, we encourage them to get engaged into various case studies, but at the same time, we definitely have that corporate exposure in place that you were talking about. So how we do that, as I told you, during the orientation only, we have a lot of corporate speakers coming to the campus. Apart from that, we have, in the program itself, we have 12 industrial visits. So every trimester, these students go for 2 of them. There'll be around 100 corporate speakers coming to the campus during the program, so that they can learn from their knowledge and experience as well. There's one live project that happens in the first year of the program, so that the students can have practical insights of the corporate world. There's one internship that happens after the end of the first year. So all of that happens. In the end of the course, we also have a dissertation project.
Right. So I think, ma'am, the perspective or the idea behind the whole program is aligned such a way that, the student does not confine to the 4 walls of the institute, but is given, a holistic, I would
Development,
say,
yes.
development.
Very
Ma'am,
right.
as we were talking about development, you see you have a decade of experience into admission. Can you, give me few pointers, or I would say few points where IBI is different from other B school in terms of, student development or their career development?
Definitely. See, we as an institution, I feel what differentiates us from most of the other institutions in the country is our willingness to evolve beyond what is happening. So, Mona, what I believe is these students at this stage in their life, they are actually taking these decisions of, discovering a good management college or taking admission in a good college, just basis the placement numbers and the rankings. So that is what a student should ideally not do. This process should be something that actually needs a lot of research. The students should actually take their decision basis the academic depth, the faculty resources, the kind of opportunities that the institute is providing to the students in terms of the exposure that we just spoke about, the how the institute is actually actively incorporating things like AI, sustainability, or maybe digital business, or whatever is happening in the business right now. So we as an institute focus entirely on these things. As you spoke about the holistic development of our students, this is a student-driven institute. So what we do is, at one particular point in time, the students would be engaged into so many things, like what we are doing in our work life right now. So we try that the students actually take a trailer of the entire movie that they'll be experiencing when they get into the corporate. So what we do is that they are engaged into various events at one point in time. If there's a fest happening, they'll be allocated a budget, they'll bring in the sponsors, they'll bring in the participants, so that they take the ownership. They'll be, the event is happening tomorrow, there's a project going on today, there's an exam that is happening early morning tomorrow. So all of that would actually make them hustle. So that's the kind of learning experience we try to give to our students.
Right, definitely. Because I think when they go into corporate, everything is so busy and you have, really quick deadlines that they should really, hustle and juggle in order to fulfill all the roles, I would say.
And the point is to, to make these students work on those timelines.
Correct. Very right. Ma'am, can you give me an example, so many years into the admission? Do you remember any one, interview process wherein you were just astonished by the, I would say, candidate?
No, it has happened numerous times, I would say. So it's been 16 years into admissions now, and in all these years, I would say this is something that has actually surprised me a lot of times. So when a student comes to the campus for taking admission, they obviously, being a student, it happens also. They have huge expectations, but then at that point in time, they are not at all realistic. So I would not like to comment on any particular student, of course, but then I would like to advise the students that be realistic, be open to learning. That is what will give you a good career, you know. And most of all, one should not focus on what the first placement is. He should focus on what has been the learning experience, so that he can develop or build a career around it.
Right, correct, ma'am. Very rightly said, ma'am. As you were saying, many students, I'm sure, when you have a conversation with them, their one focus is towards placement, getting a good placement.
Right.
So, what do you think? As a chairperson of admission, do you think is it right for a student to right from day one to comment or maybe talk about getting a good placement, securing a good placement? Because when we also talk about ROI, it is not just a 2-year investment that you make at any B school, I would say, but it is also the previous years of history of education that you have had. So what do you think, how do you cater such students in general?
See, placement, Mona, is not an activity, it's an outcome, right? The outcome, obviously, as you said, that it is how you have been raised, what kind of schooling you had, how was your graduation, how was your internship experience, how were you at the live project that you did. So all of that plays a huge role in how you get placed. And placement these days, the recruiters, what they are looking for is not your resume, they are looking for the skills. You may get a good CGPA, maybe 9.5 also, but then if you don't have the required skill set, I'm sorry, they'll not hire you. So that is what is there. Focusing on placements is good. Of course, you should have a goal, but in that goal, what the students usually do is they forget the process. So they don't focus on the learnings that are given in the classrooms. They don't focus on the projects, the internships and other things. And because they are not able to focus on those things, they are not able to secure a good placement. So that is the missing link there. You have to focus on the process and the outcome would certainly happen. So if you are very focused towards the internship that you're doing, definitely you would get a good placement. So for getting a placement, I believe you have to show the recruiter that what you have built in all these years. So if you've done an internship, you should show him that this was the problem that I was able to solve these during these 3 months of internship. So that is what will get you hired.
Correct.
Any college for that matter, not only a management college, even if a student is doing an engineering degree or maybe a media degree or whatever, no educational institution can play a role of a placement agency. Educational institution can definitely give you good academics. They can definitely expose you to the corporate world. They can definitely give you the opportunities. But then you should have that skill set to crack that opportunity.
Very rightly said, ma'am. Taking accountability and being well versed with all the academics as well as the practical knowledge is very important, because skills do play a really important role in today's hiring. Ma'am, my another question to you would be, in one of the podcasts, I was having a conversation with the director academics, Dr. Shweta Saurabh, wherein she said, despite there are some students who repetitively give the interviews and somehow they face a lot of rejection, wherein these students, instead of taking accountability on themselves, they start blaming other people. So how do you address this situation?
Again, coming to the same point, because these students had that goal, having that goal was fair enough. You should always have that goal, but you should not always keep your eye on that goal only. So what these students usually do is they just keep their eye on that goal only, and they are not able to focus on what is being taught to them. They are not here in the certifications, they are not here when we have boot camps, they are not here when we have workshops for them. So when they'll not attend the personality development sessions, I'm sorry, they'll not be able to speak in front of the recruiter. See, a resume can get you shortlisted, but your skills would get you selected. So that is what the students should actually focus on. They should be focusing on skills, and it is a natural human tendency. When something wrong happens in my life, I would blame the other person. I would never take that accountability. So that's a natural human tendency. But then after a certain point in time, when after let's say 2-3 years, when they grow in their career, they get stable, they get a good job, they are buying a house or maybe a car, they are well settled, then they come back, and then
Correct.
they realize that the college was fine, our faculty was saying the right thing, but we were not able to realize.
Correct.
It is
correct,
natural,
correct,
I feel.
correct. That's very rightly answered,
Yeah.
ma'am. You have been associated with iBusiness Institute for such a long time, I would say. Give me, two reasons why a management student should consider IBI for a PGDM course.
Okay. See, first of all, as I said, it is a student-centric institution. We never shy away from addressing our students. Obviously, each and every institute, for that matter, would claim that they have the best of faculty, they have the best of placement opportunities, the corporate exposure, and I feel and I believe every educational institution tries to do that as per their bandwidth. But what I feel is very personal to me, because you said that because I have been associated for this long, what I have believed is, or what I have felt is, that we take the ownership, we take the accountability. Even if our student is, not happy with a, particular outcome, we'll be there to take the accountability. So that is one thing that I personally feel. Second, I feel is that we are an institution that is willing to evolve. If it's I'll just give you an example. So, we recently, a year back, we collaborated with E&Y. I'm sure you must be aware of that. So, that was never a part of the offerings that were initially committed to the incoming batch. But then we felt that as per the growing demands of the corporate, and this is something that our students would take advantage from. So, we did that, and we gave that certification to our students. We recently collaborated with Board Infinity, that is basically our placement preparatory partner. These people have collaboration with almost all the IIMs in the country, and we are one of the institution which has got this collaboration recently, because we felt that this is something that our students would take benefit from. So we are continuously evolving. We are embracing change. We are definitely, trying, and we'll keep trying.
That's really nice, ma'am. Ma'am, we'll end up with one quick question. What is one message that you would like to give to all the newcomers who would be joining iBusiness Institute in the future?
Sure. See, I would say, come with a very positive mindset. If you have taken a decision, just be proud of it. I can vouch for the fact that if you plan to come to IBI, you are in the safe hands, and we would do every possible effort to make our students shine in the corporate world.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thanks a lot. Thank you.